Hello and welcome to my video about salaries in Munich um, and what you can expect. So I've been living in Munich for more than 3 years with my wife, and I thought that I would make this video since there's just so much, I guess, information out there describing salaries and your sort of expenses and what you can expect. But I feel like they somewhat get things wrong because they don't take into account the fact that you have to have a savings, or that you have to have investments, or that you're growing your net worth. So to kind of give an introduction, I saw this video from Max Yoko. I think his video is quite okay, but his salary example here, I mean, this is a good example, but the conclusion he came to, I think, is a bit wrong. So he says that you have a salary example where you're a computer science graduate, recently graduated, you're working in an IT company, you're based in Munich, and your starting salary is 60k a year. Which is realistic. This is a realistic number. He goes through the tax calculator here. He says that you're tax class 1, you're in Bayern, and then he comes to the conclusion that you get around 3,100
54 euros.
3,154 euros. There we go. That's your net per month. So I mean, that's okay so far, but then he comes to the conclusion that this is definitely enough. So this conclusion kind of got me. So I thought maybe let me sort of talk about this a little bit and give you, as an expat, as I am an expat, also some background, and I guess for you some information on what to avoid when coming to Germany, what to expect, and so that you, coming from maybe a country that does not have such high, well, perceived high salaries, like, I mean, I'm from a country that's like also quite poor, and salaries are also quite low. So my perception of 60,000 euros when I got here was also like, wow, that's so much money, like, because you instinctively convert things, and you instinctively think that your buying power is just so much better, which in some ways is, but then other ways, because of the cost of living here, you kind of become like, you're kind of living on the breadline, which is weird because, yeah, anyway. So not totally, not obviously not on the breadline, but quite strict and very frugal. So let me quickly also show you this article. This is a Simple Germany article. They kind of go into some details of, what salaries are, what salaries you can expect in Germany. So Germany's median salary is 43,750, which I think is realistic. And then also they're talking about a good salary is between 64,000 and 70,000. This is across Germany. And Hamburg, for example, they say 68,500 is good, and in Munich 80k is good, which I kind of agree with. But I think even 80k, it's like an okay starter, right? This is not where you should aim to end. This is like the starting position. Anyway, so let's take a little look at a calculator here, because I chose a higher number than Max Yoko. Max Yoko. I chose 68,500 euros. Since 60,000, in my opinion, is way too low, and you'll struggle coming to Germany or Munich in particular. You'll struggle to go there. I chose similar numbers to him. This is pretty much all the same. The only, I guess, like the only thing you should watch out for is the categories here. So in Germany there are different tax categories. Tax category 1 is like you're single. 3 is for married people, where both partner or both people in the partnership earn different salaries. So for example, one person is a high income earner and the other is a low income earner. And then tax class 4 if both married individuals have the same income. So I chose 1 to simplify things. That means that you end up with 3,000, roughly 500 euros net. So to do a little experiment, I thought, well, okay, let's see what kind of expenses you would have if you're living in Munich, by starting off with obviously the rent, right? So I used Immo Scout, which is a popular platform here. I used the map. I tried to filter the apartments between 1,100 to 1,500 max, because I mean, if you're budgeting for your apartment, you'll realize that more than like 35% of your income shouldn't go to rent, and I mean these numbers are already above that. 1,500 euros is actually 42% of the net income here, which is like on the max upper limit that you should ever consider. But yeah, so I wanted to maybe show you what you can get for numbers between like these kinds of numbers. Obviously in Germany in general you have cold rent and warm rent, and warm rent just means that it includes the utilities. So when searching for an apartment or like a house or anything, always look at the warm rent figure, not the cold rent. Warm rent is the only thing that you can go by to really estimate what are you going to spend. Since warm rent is like your heating and water bill and the house maintenance and all of that. Anyway, so let's take a look at some apartments. So I found like one here for 1,425 euros for a grand total of 41 square meters. So I mean 41 square meters is very small, in my opinion at least. It looks quite modern at least, so that's quite decent. But oh, and it comes with furniture, so that's a plus. So as an expat, you should probably look at things like apartments that have furniture that's been furnished, and you probably want to live in something that's at least 40 square meters. Here's one for 50 square meters for 1,480 euros. Also pretty decent looking. Maybe it's also like with the furniture, didn't really see. Here's another one, 1,500 euros, warm rent. Has a little patch of grass there, wow, you can walk on. This is a living room, quite cramped. Kitchen, decent, so I guess it's okay. And your bedroom, yeah. Wait, here they show. This is one room, another room, the terrace, the garden, your living room, and your kitchen. So the kitchen's very small, the living room is okay, the second room is small. Well, the first room and the second room, they're quite small. But I guess maybe you can use this one as a study if you don't have children. Um, so then I kind of came up with a bill, little set of expenses and a budget um, on the salary of 3,500 euros a month net. If you had a rent of 1,500 and the normal sort of expenses added here, like, oh, you're washing clothing, because most departments don't come furnished, and you'll probably want to use a washing service, or like maybe your building has a washing machine that takes coins, and yeah, you can use that. I added insurances. These are like the top one of the top insurances in my opinion, have to get. Liability insurance in Germany is very like high up the list. Renters is okay, like it's not too bad, but disability I would also say is quite high up the list. Get it when you're young. Then food, 300 euros for a single person is enough. If you're married, you'd probably want this to be at least around 500. I think 500 is like okay, but it will be like you'll probably want to still budget quite well with food if you're two people. Electricity, internet, and Rundfunkbeitrag. So Rundfunkbeitrag is like the TV license. It's like broadcasting license essentially in Germany. You have to pay it, no matter if you have a TV, no matter if you have a radio. It doesn't matter if you live in an apartment and you're like the sole tenant, then most likely you have to pay this. If you're in a shared apartment, then most likely it's part of the WG. So the shared the shared apartment is most likely already covering it, but you'll have to find out. And the Rundfunk is usually about 18 euros a month. You can decide how you want to pay it, monthly or quarterly or yearly. And then electricity, I also added there about 60 euros for electricity. Might not be as high for you, it might be less, but I kind of went on what I'm currently paying in my apartment and with my internet usage and things. And then obviously like other things that you don't necessarily see but that you have to pay for eventually are things like medicines and clothing. You have to buy clothing now and again, and so I've added like 20 euros a month that you're just putting away for that, under like fixed expenses, since eventually you will pay for them. This leaves you with a total of around 1,317 euros. This is not like what's left in terms of this is what you can spend in a month. In my opinion, you should never spend 1,317 euros. You should never spend this whole amount. It's you have to keep this money aside, or build up like a reserve over time. I sort of went ahead and just took 700 euros out of this amount as savings. And I mean, savings in this case is not investments. This is just like cash that you're putting away. This can be in like a high yield savings account or something, but it's essentially money that you're completely like putting in a different account or putting away. You don't touch it. So that takes you roughly 3 months about to have a 1 month 1 month emergency fund for your fixed expenses. So that's like your rent and all of these things here. And the rest, which is 611 euros, I said fun question mark because it's not everything will go for fun. You'll most likely realize that you have to pay for things like small things that pop up. Maybe you have a subscription. Maybe, I don't know, you have to buy something for yourself. Like, I don't know. You'll realize that there are like small things that you have to pay for that you didn't think about, and so everything is in this fun category. Maybe you can take from this fun category and put into investments and stuff. So, as you've realized, I haven't even added here any pension plan, because in this case, I believe it's too little for a pension unless you really want to take away from your cash flow that you have right now. In my opinion, I would first build my cash flow and then try and increase my salary and then get a pension plan as fast as possible, of course. And for a pension plan, you're gonna at least want to put like probably around 500 euros a month away, because that's kind of, I mean, yeah, that's 500 euros is also like quite low, but that's at least something. So anyway, this is what I've come up with. Just to give you an idea of what the Rundfunkbeitrag is. You have it. Essentially, all these news agent broadcasts and shows, the public broadcasting services basically in Germany are funded by this Rundfunkbeitrag, and you have to do it. Everyone has to do it. And then here's also like just to give you an idea. There's this ticket in Germany called a Deutschland ticket, and it basically allows you to travel on all of the public transport except for ICEs. There it says not valid for ICEs. So basically in your city you can use all the trams and underground rail and the S-Bahns as much as you'd like for a flat rate of 58 euros a month. And if you're commuting to work, this is definitely something that you will have to get. Unless obviously you buy a bike and you go with your bike or a car. So yeah, so this is included there. This is a 58 euro Deutschland ticket there. Okay, so anyway, I thought I'd share this with you. This is kind of from my own experience as well, living here in Munich. This is what I've come up with. I think as an expat, you should definitely aim to have more than 3,500 euros net, because you will have expenses that you do not expect. You will have to pay for things at the KVR. You will have to most likely pay for things in your home country. Like, I mean, I had to pay for things like taxes and essentially doing like a like tax immigration from my home country, so I don't pay double tax. And so there's like all of these things that you have to take into account. Also, if you're not getting a furnished apartment, then obviously you have to furnish it, and furniture is expensive. I mean, you can try and get second-hand stuff, which is also valid, but you'll most likely want, like, say, a fridge and appliances in the kitchen. I mean, in Germany, some apartments don't come with kitchens, and then you'll have to, purchase the kitchen yourself. I mean, yeah, and that can be like thousands of euros. I haven't bought a kitchen here yet, but according to some people, it can be like 3, 4, 5,000 euros. So I would just be wary of that. Okay, so that's it from my side. Thanks for watching.